Good afternoon, guys and girls. Welcome back to the channel, or good morning, good evening, wherever you're listening from or watching from. Today I thought I'd do another video, but I thought I'd do something a little bit more fun. And I do apologise about the steam coming out of my mouth, or whatever you want to call it, condensation. But we're in the workshop, stroke garage, and it's pretty cold. And what you don't know is up there, I've got a pat of heater shining down on me to try and keep me warm. So I do apologise about the steam, but it is what it is. But yeah, I thought I'd do a little video today, something a bit more fun. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be testing the Knipex Ergostrip against a cheap Chinese version that I bought on Temu for a quarter of the price. So yeah, just first impressions, having a look at them, they're pretty much identical. Obviously one's a left hand, one's a right hand, but in terms of appearance and stuff, they're pretty identical, to be perfectly honest with you. Even down to the way they're manufactured inside. They've both got sort of the hexagonal sort of inside and stuff like that. They've got the same stripping features, the same blades at each end, albeit they're a little bit more shallow on the fake one. But yeah, obviously this test, we're going to sort of do some real world sort of tests that I would use the Knipex Ergostrip for, stripping flexes, high tufts, towels and stuff like that, and then we'll see how this gets on and see whether it's worth, or see whether the Knipex Ergostrip is worth the extra money. This currently is retailing on Amazon about £37–38. This one that I bought from Temu was about £9.98, I think. So yeah, pretty much a quarter of the price. Quite clearly it's a copy, but I want to see if it's worth it. If it's worth getting one of these, or if it's worth spending the extra just to stick with the Knipex Ergostrip. So yeah, let's give it a go, shall we? So just general appearance of them, as I said earlier, they look pretty similar. The cheaper one does feel a little bit cheaper, as you'd expect, for the price point and stuff, but I would say it's a relatively good copy, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, they don't look too dissimilar. So yeah, they look pretty good really. So we'll see, shall we? The blades in the fake one, not as big, as you probably see, if we can get it to focus, not as big. But the stripping blade at the side is pretty much the same, to be honest. So yeah, so let's see what we can do with it, shall we? So first of all, we'll start by using we'll go with the original Knipex Ergostrip. As you can see, it is the original one. And what we've got here is we've got a bit of normal 1.5mm flex 3-core cable. And what we'll do is we'll do the standard, put it in there, twist it, which is cut, it's cut nicely, as you'd expect with this one. And then we'll go along like that, and we'll see. So that stripped that really nicely. So no problem at all with the Knipex Ergostrip, as you'd expect. This is it's, you know, it's bread and butter really, stripping these sorts of cables. And then we'll even go and use the 1.5mm cable stripper there, like that, and yeah, it stripped it really easily. No problem at all, as you'd expect. So yeah, now on to the Chinese cheap one, and we'll see see how we get on. So the teeth on these ones at the end, or the blades at these ones, are a little bit more, or don't protrude as much as the Ergostrip. So we'll see. So we'll go in, we'll twist it, and then twist it back as we would. and it's pretty much cut all the way through, as you can see. It's cut all the way through there, and then we'll go along with the blade as we did with the Ergostrip. Oh, well that one, I started to cut it, but it actually pulled the outer PVC sheathing off, which is good. So yeah, so no problems at all with that. You obviously cut the outer sheathing quite well, and it hasn't marked the cores at all. If you can get that to focus, it hasn't marked the cores at all. So yeah, and then we'll use the 1.5mm stripper. See how we get on. If we can get this to focus. There we go. Stripped it absolutely fine. So quite a basic cable to strip, but to be perfectly honest with you, they both perform pretty well with that. So yeah, we'll put that on over there, and we'll go again. So what should we do next? So what we've got here, we've got some 16mm earth, we've got some 25mm towels, and then we've got some 3-core SWA, only 1.5mm. But yeah, I thought these are the most common things that I would use this for. I don't tend to use this for anything bigger than towels really, because the jaws are, you know, are quite small on them. So what we'll do next is we'll go for some SWA. So we'll use the Knipex Ergostrip on some SWA, and then we'll go around like that, and that's gone through that nicely down to the armouring, and then we'll slice up with the stripper, and then as you can see, strip that quite nicely. So yeah, you can just pull that off. There we go. So yeah, no problem for the Knipex Ergostrip at all. That performed pretty well as expected on that. And now we'll use the other end on the Chinese copy and see what happens. So let's go in and let's go around again. So again, that's, if you can see that and get it into focus, it's gone through the outer sheathing absolutely fine. And then we'll use the blade up to see what's happened. So this one hasn't cut anywhere near as deep as the Knipex Ergostrip. So that outer blade, that blade in there, doesn't protrude as much as the Ergostrip. So it's causing that not to be cut up like that. Let's try that again. Yeah, so there's a bit of an issue with this blade here. This blade doesn't protrude anywhere near as much as the Ergostrip one does, which is causing a bit of a problem. However, with this particular cable, we can just slide that off with a bit of force, like that. So it's not a real problem, but like on the Ergostrip, that blade there, we can get it into focus, protrudes a lot more than on the cheap one. So, however, we got to what we wanted to do. We've stripped the outer sheathing off. Both did it. It was just this, when slicing along, didn't perform as well as the Ergostrip because the blade is doesn't protrude as much. So yeah, armoured. Now we'll go for a bit of 16mm earth, and we'll go with the Knipex again, and again we'll just use that, twist that around. Again, it's gone all the way through as you'd expect, and then we'll straighten that up and go along like that. That's cut through, so that should just slide off like that. So yeah, that's the Knipex Ergostrip again, no problem with that. This is bread and butter, it's what it's used for every day. And bearing in mind I've had this one for about a year, maybe 2 years now, so it's worn, the blades are worn in it, but it still performs pretty well. I know you can replace these blades, I think, or can you not? I don't think you can, you have to buy a new one. But yeah, bearing in mind that's 2 years old and that's performing really well. This is brand new, obviously. So let's try the cheap china. Go around it like that, and as you can see, that has cut through there absolutely fine. And we'll try this blade again here. So if we squeeze that as hard as we can, no, see, that's a real issue. Because if you're doing a short bit like this, you can get away with it. But if you're doing a long bit of cable, you need to slice along that to be able to get the outer sheathing off. And that blade is a real issue, where it's not protruding as much as the Knipex Ergostrip one, because it doesn't cut through the outer sheathing. So that's a bit of an issue, really. See, it's not cutting through. So yeah, that blade on the side there isn't good, but nevertheless, if you're stripping a little bit of insulation off, you can get it off. But if you were doing a big amount, if you were going from here all the way around to there, you wouldn't be able to pull that off. You would need to slice along with that blade, and that blade's just not, it's not fit for purpose. So yeah, so we managed to strip it, but under different circumstances it probably wouldn't work. And then finally, what we'll do is, we've got a 25mm towel. What we'll do, we'll go through the outer bit and then we'll go through the inner. So we'll go back to the Knipex Ergostrip, straighten that up, and then we'll go through there, turn that round, and then we'll go along with that blade. Bearing in mind the weather here is pretty cold as well, so these cables are rock hard, so the insulation is pretty tough to get through, really. So yeah, alright, that's gone through. There we go. Ergostrip, not a problem. And then we'll go through the inner core. Again, I think I slipped off. That's better. Cool. It's tough, that inner one. Really tough. It's cold weather. So we'll get there. There we are. We managed to get it apart. And we'll slide that off. So yeah, I don't know if that was a bit of user error or whether it's just because the cable's so cold that was quite a bit of a job, really, which doesn't really I don't hold up much hope for this Chinese one. So let's give this a go. So we're doing the outer sheathing with the Chinese one. She doesn't want to slice through that. Doesn't want to slice through long ways, which makes this all the harder. Oh, no, it's just not doing it that well. So yeah, I mean, you can see that is not scored at all. It's just not scored. It's not scored through it, which makes it a nightmare to get it off. So then let's try this inner one. And it cuts fine like that, around that way, absolutely fine. But when it comes to going along, I just don't really want to know. Again, it hasn't gone through that little bit of insulation. The inner core, it's not gone through it, which means this is a nightmare to get off. That ain't gonna come off. Let's go to the Ergostrip, because I know that'll do it. Yeah, see that cut through straight away. It's got that apart. It's sliced through it. Whereas the other one, just don't want to know. There we go. So guys and girls, the conclusion of 4 basic tests. Nippo Ergostrip, £37–38, and a Chinese copy, £9.98 from Temu. What's my conclusion? Well, this Chinese copy, it does do some jobs. You can strip the cables around, and it does do some jobs okay, fairly well, I'll give it that. But when it comes to using this side stripping section, this blade here, to strip along the cables, it's absolutely useless. The blade doesn't protrude anywhere near enough beyond the plastic there, so you're not cutting along the cables, which makes it difficult, as you've seen, to get the outer sheathing off. So, would I recommend this?
He shoots, he scores!
No, I wouldn't. I would pay the extra money and stick with the Knipex Ergostrip. It just does everything perfectly, and bearing in mind this is 2 years old, as I've already said. Yeah, so I would stick with this. I would buy one of these, and this is probably going to last probably 4 times the time about. So it makes it a no-brainer really. You're not losing out money-wise. So yeah, conclusion of that little test: Nippo Ergostrip. Knipex code is 169502. I'll leave a link in the description. And yeah, hope that was useful, bit of fun, and intend to do a little bit more of this type of content. So yeah, but yeah, for now, in that video, Knipex Ergostrip every day of the week, and Saturdays and Sundays too. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.